Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. This episode, we're going to have Takota from Odyz coming on. The reason I said that is every single time I think of the brand name, I want to say Odyz. So it's my fault, Takota. I'm sorry. But Odyz is a app that is being developed for the hunting space, new social media app for all of us hunters. So very excited to hear about that and get to know Takota better. So obviously, before we jump into that, got to run through the partners. If you're watching this video, I'm kind of gonna jump ahead a little bit and then backtrack, and you'll understand what I mean by that. If you're watching this video, you can see behind me the form is finally done. I want to give a shout out to Ace Hardware and Social Circle for getting me hooked up. We were supposed to record a promo video, but unfortunately there wasn't any time. It's kind of a rush deal since TAC is this weekend. Recording this on the 28th, 29th? I don't know. But anyway, TAC is in a few days, so we are going to be up there for, I guess, because I'm recording it before TAC, for everybody that came out and met up with us, or everyone we talked to and got to hang out with. Great to see you. I love TAC. It's so much fun, and I cannot wait to get this bow out there and shoot it at a bunch of targets, man. You know, we took it to the range yesterday after we got it set up, and it is extremely dialed, super smooth, feels great, quiet. It is the one main thing about this bow that I've noticed. It is the most well-balanced bow I've ever shot, and I've shot all of the God dang it, I can't remember. My brain is not working right now, guys. I'm sorry. All of the flagship. That's what I was looking for. I've shot all the flagship bows for all the brands and all the major brands, and they're all really, really good. All right. There is not a bad bow out there right now, but in my opinion, the Prime form is the most stable, smoothest drawing. And yeah, I love it. So that's, again, why we partnered up with them. So check out Prime Archery if you're looking for a new bow. It's about a 4-week wait time when you place your order. Excuse me. But believe me, it's worth the wait. And you guys are going to love this bow. Speaking of it being dialed, the dialed archery proof is on that bow as well. I might before I get on with Takota, I might go grab it here in a second and show you guys all the stuff once I'm done with all of this. But the proof is amazing. Excuse me, God. The proof sighted in super simply. Same as the Arxos. It was very quick and easy. I think I had it sighted in relatively within 15 minutes. I mean, it took nothing. Dual sight tapes. And dude, it's just it's such a good sight. A lot of adjustment on it. The 10,000ths pin that I switched to, I love that. Clearly can see them. Dude, it's awesome. So look, if you're in the market for a new bow or a new sight, please go check out Prime Archery for your bow, and go check out Dialed Archery for your sight. These companies, all of these companies we work with, dude, they're amazing, and we are blessed to be able to work with them. So speaking of other companies, Working Class Bow Hunter. If you want to get some of the merch, go to workingclassbowhunter.com. Use the code in the description below. Saves you 15%. Osseo gear, as you can see, got my new Osseo shirt. There's going to be a lot more Osseo stuff you see me wearing. I've had a conversation with a couple of the people over there, and I'm trying to be more involved in everything that they're doing. So you are going to be seeing more Osseo from me. So be on the lookout for that. Use the code in the description below. At osseogear.com. This also save you 15% off. And also check out Mission Whitetail. That's Joe Miles's podcast, where he goes in depth every week with some of the best whitetail hunters in the industry, really in the world. Doesn't even have to be in the industry. Where they tell you guys, they give you tactics and they give you tips and they give advice and they tell stories that, you know, for Georgia, we're about 3 to 4 months. Yeah, 4 months away, just about, before deer season starts. And there's some other things to kind of cover on that. I'll do that in a different episode, but I listen to their stuff all the time. So, you know, it's very informative. It's a lot of fun to listen to. Joe's going to be coming on in a few months to sort of dive into it a little bit. And yeah, so go help support them. Summit stands, my sticks are ready to roll, just waiting for probably June or July to go hang it. And man, I cannot wait to be up in a tree again with all my Summit gear. If you want to get some Summit stuff, go to summitstands.com, use the code in the description, save a little bit of money, 15% off. You know, we're just trying to save you guys cash. Next up is going to be the Bowtique. Mike actually sent me a photo of some wraps he's coming out with that are so sick. The artwork is amazing, the color is amazing. So please head over to the boutiquellc.com. Go get your arrows customized, go get some wraps customized, and use the code down below for free shipping. Next up is Bergie Bowsmith. Bergie is the man. Okay, so Bergie is a genius when it comes down to tuning bows. He's helped me out with my form a lot. He's helped me with at-home tuning that I can do. The dude's just a wizard with it. So go to bergiebowsmith.com. He is a dealer for a lot of the major companies that we all use, and you can use the code below to save 10%. G5 Outdoors, you guys know I made the switch a while back to G5. For deer season, I'm going to be shooting the Mega Meat again. And then this summer, if everything works out correctly, because it is a very busy summer, this summer I'm planning on going to hunt with Tim Knight, if he'll have me still, to go kill some pigs. So I'm still waiting on the Dead Meat V2 and the T2 to show up. But once they do, I'll make sure that it's still running fine with this bow, which really shouldn't be a problem. That bow is tuned to perfection. And get those ready and go kill some pigs with it. And then I'll have stories for you guys. So go to G5 to check out all your broadhead needs. They sell fixed blades, mechanicals. They have everything you guys need. Next up is going to be Moultrie. So for those who don't know, I did make a switch recently to Moultrie. That is a cell camera company that I'm working with now. I still haven't gotten my cameras out. And the reason being is I actually lost one of my main spots that I was literally the day before I was going to go put this camera out and start feeding, running mock scrapes, stuff like that. I found out that I couldn't hunt there anymore. So now, a few days later, it's back up in the air whether or not I'll be able to. I don't know. So I'm kind of holding back on that. But I am planning on getting my Moultries out here in the next couple of weeks. Whether it's at new spots or one of my spots in Monticello that I really need to start sort of honing in on those deer there. But Moultrie makes an amazing cell camera. They've got rechargeable battery packs. Definitely check out they also have solar panels. Check out, if I slow down a bit, check out the Edge Pro 2. That is the camera that I'm running, and it is amazing. So head over to Moultrie. Still waiting on that code to give you guys so you can save a little bit of money, but Moultrie is a great camera company, and you guys will not be disappointed by using them. Next up is going to be Camo Dust. You guys know about that. A scent control company that I've been using for a while. And, if you go to camodust.com, get you the 6-pack, last the entire season. Boning Archery, going to be seeing everybody up there at TAC this weekend. Use the code down below to save you 20%. One of my arrow builds this year is actually going to be an Osseo wrap with all white boning alpha veins. So once that is done, once that's built, I will show you guys. It's going to be awesome. Then the Chase, you got my buddy Brock. That's his YouTube channel, The Chase. He's really starting to get into his own rhythm with hunting stuff with the YouTube channel and some guiding stuff. He and I have been kind of talking behind the scenes a little bit about his guiding. So be on the lookout for that, because if he does do what I think he's going to do, y'all are going to have an extremely amazing deal. And then I've been pushing the Odyssey stuff, but this is Takota's episode. So we're going to hear all about that. So that's all the partners. Real quick, before I do my usual thing, for those of you watching, I want you to see. So this is the form, fully decked out, ready to go, sighted in. And there, if you can see it on here, is the Osseo gear limbs with the Recon Gray and then the dialed proof with all orange. As you guys know, I love orange and camo together, especially Osseo. So yeah, that's the new bow. And for those of y'all listening, sorry for that 5 seconds of really bad audio. So that's all the partners. That's the new bow. If you guys, one thing I want to talk to y'all about, Takota's texting me. I got to get back with him on that in just a second. But one thing I want to talk to y'all about is Jesus. And something I had kind of a realization today that, I've listened to a lot of Christian stuff throughout the day, like people talking about their faith, and intellectuals like Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan. Those guys talk about what either their faith or what they think of Jesus and the whole Christian family. And one thing I noticed is a lot of us have the feeling that we need to work for it, that we need to be good, right? That we need to, earn our way to heaven. But look, man, it doesn't work that way. All right. I'm a sinner. Okay. I've always been a sinner. I was born a sinner. even after I got saved, still I sin. I do stuff that sometimes isn't the will of God, and sometimes it's hard to discern that. It's really hard to figure out what he has planned out for us, and sometimes we don't trust it. They say that you're saved not by works, but by faith in Jesus, and sometimes that's hard to understand because the whole point of that, and it's a verse from James where it says, "You're not saved by." Oh crap! You know what? I completely just forgot it. I blanked out. That's the devil trying to get to me. I'm just kidding, or I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, basically what I'm getting at is, people think that you can just be a good person, right? None of us are good compared to what Jesus did, who he was, who he is. None of us are good. And that's a realization I've had recently where I've known you can't just work your way to heaven, that you have to, believe he died on the cross and rose again and cleanses all of our sins and whatnot. But man, the change he's made in my life, and especially recently, like I said, realizing that it's just faith-based. That's all this is. You have to, having faith in him means trusting in him, that when you're either struggling with something small, like say someone, has a drink, or I'm not going to say this is small, but say somebody has a drinking problem, right? I've got plenty of buddies that have that. Those sins are covered if they place their faith in him. And what they need to do is they need to just trust that he will get them out of that, right? Then you have the extremes where I've heard stories of people who have stage 4 cancer. They are on their deathbed and somebody prays for them, or a whole community prays for them, and they get healed. Uncle Si has a story about that. And that, again, goes to the faith. Having faith in Jesus means you trust in him, that he, no matter what you're going through, is going to get you out of it. And there's better things planned for you on the other side. I know I'm going a little deep on this, but it's been on my mind to say something about this because I struggle with stuff every day. All right, I'm not going to go into it, but I struggle with things every single day. And sometimes I've got days where it's easy. I just say, "Hey, leave me alone, Satan," and it's gone, right? And it's our human nature, we're sinners, right? But Jesus came and he died on the cross and rose again to cleanse us of that and make us righteous. And then I have days where, it's the hardest thing in the world to say no to the old me. And, sometimes I'm able to still get out of it. Sometimes I'm not. But I'm saying all of this because I want you guys to understand that every single week I'm always like, "Oh, if you place your faith in him, you'll be so much better." I want you to understand the depth of that, right? And I know I'm long-winded here. If you want to skip this, I totally understand. I am going to wrap it up here in a second, but just having the trust that he is going to get you out of whatever situation you're in, if you're dealing with anything, that's the main point. And again, we're saved by having faith in him. That's all it is. You don't have to do any crazy good thing. You don't have to, like, the requirements are not, feeding the homeless all the time, donating a bunch of money. Like, you don't have to do any of that. Those works come as fruit of the Spirit once you do start walking with the Lord, right? Like, that's just what's going to happen. It's not because you need to do it, you want to do it, right? But for those of you who know, look at the thief on the cross. He realized who Jesus was in his last few moments, and he said, "Remember me when you go to your kingdom." And he said and Jesus said to this guy, "You will be with me in paradise today." It's heavy, man. It's heavy. There's a lot to it. People like to complicate things and make it way more difficult than it needs to be, and I'm one of those people. I do it all the time. So anyway, just kind of soak in that, think on it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You want to call me, reach out to me. We can talk about it. But before we dive in with Takota, that was my preacher moment. The last thing, you can see the hat. We got Southeast Bow in our hats now. If you guys are interested in getting them, let me know. It's going to take a little bit. I'm still working out logistics and how, who I'm going to buy a whole thing of hats from, working on shirts, working on all of that. So yeah, look, been talking for 15 minutes now, so I'm sorry about the long intro, but Takota's waiting. So let's get into it with Takota from Odyssey. We got a man here today with one of the coolest names. I keep messing up and calling him Tacoma, but we got Takota Bryant with Odyssey on the podcast today. If you don't know what Odyssey is, that's probably because it is this app that is going to, in my opinion, just from hearing the little things that Takota's told me, that it's going to change the whole hunting industry. So before we dive into it, man, what can you let people know, I guess, who you are and how you got to the point where you're coming out with this app?
Oh yeah, of course, and I appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
So the idea came up about a little over a year ago, which back then it really wasn't an issue, but obviously the censorship now is the big issue, the restrictions and stuff like that. But a year ago when this came to mind was just the fact that why doesn't the outdoors have a platform of its own? Because there's stuff people post even back then that other people don't respect, don't relate to. They don't know that part of life and stuff like that. So it started then. I didn't have the idea for a social media app itself. It was more started off with like a Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And then it grew and grew, and I started talking to more and more people, and they started suggesting, man, like, hey, can we turn this into something bigger? And I said, basically I can, it just won't be right away.
Yeah.
So what I did is I took the past 13 months and I've been joining live streams. I've been doing a couple podcasts every now and then. This is my third one, but this is my first one like live on camera.
Oh, really?
The rest of them were just audio.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, we've done a few of those, but I've tried to get away from that. It's more personal when you can like watch the guys talking, you know. Plus, if someone has a product, you know, they can say, "Oh, well, this is like say it's a broadhead company, right?" You pop out the broadhead and be like, "Well, this is what you're going to be seeing," and then you actually get to see it rather than, you know, hearing someone get up, walk away, come back, explain what it is, and then you're just listening while you're driving down the highway. You're like, "Well, what is this thing?" You know?
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of that, I literally have everything like sitting around me. Like I got people sending me broadheads like crazy.
Is that the new beast?
No, this is the guillotine
from
VIP Archery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, that's sick. How's that thing fly?
Pretty good actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's so that one specifically is a 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4. So
good
Lord. It's nice. But yeah, they sent me some of those, and I was just going with it, and I like seeing new stuff and testing it out. So
yeah, dude, that's nuts. I saw that beast head come out, and I don't really turkey hunt. Like I was gonna try to go this year, but I'm not gonna have time. And I was talking to Brian from G5, you know, because we've been partnered with them now since January, and I was like, "What's the best broadhead do you think out of the mechanicals you guys make?" He's like, "Dude, run the Mega Meat." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "What if?" Because I've had this thing, and people who have been listening and who know me long enough, there's a course out by me that has this turkey. It's a 3D target, and every single, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm shooting for fun. I don't care if it's one of our bow shoots. I'm out there and I'm trying to shoot this thing in the head. I've been trying for 5 years. I have not been able. I've skimmed it. I've just barely missed it, and I don't know if my confidence would be up enough because I know instinctively I'd want to shoot the turkey in the head with the Mega Meat. So I was talking to him and I was like, "Well, what do you recommend?" He's like, "Dude, just shoot the Mega Meat. You know, shoot him right by the wing." He told me where to hit it, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use it this year. But the broadheads have been coming out, like like I said, the beast head. My thing with it is, how do you make them fly right? I mean, I know we're not shooting 60 yards, but I mean, it's like a helicopter propeller, you know?
Yeah, it really is too. You got to just test them out. Honestly, like I kind of want to test one out as well. I haven't even had the chance to try any of those ones. But I would love to just get my hands on one and just to see. And I'm sure people have their preference of how it flies. They could be the same, identical looking, but one might have just one minor
tweak
adjustment to it that just causes it to do something different.
Well, I don't know. The turkey world is extremely unknown to me. But all right, getting back to the app stuff. So you've been spending 13 months on this app, and the one thing before I kind of want to give you my thoughts on being on TikTok and being on Instagram and trying out other, I guess, hunting social media stuff that it doesn't, the ones I've used, they're not, I almost feel like whoever made it's got a disconnect, right? Like you post something up, there's people you have no idea who they are. There might be 20,000 people on it and 10 see it, right? And then you get like 10 likes or someone's like, oh, nice buck. And it's like, there's something missing there, like that. I feel like if you could take like a archery talk and Instagram and Facebook and even, well, I guess Instagram has videos, but say those three and you put them into one thing, that's kind of what we're missing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know if that's what you've seen, but like I said, from what you were telling me just before we started recording, this sounds like completely different from what everybody else is doing. So
yeah. So within this 13 months, and it's still today, like the virtual trophy room I was telling you about that was suggested by a taxidermist. Like, hey, we would love for this kind of feature to come out. Obviously, we can't do it right away when we do release the app. It'll be in a later update. But that idea was like, that was genius.
So what does he mean by that? Like when you say trophy room, is it?
So basically, the way we're going to do it is we're going to create probably 3 to start with, but different looking rooms. One's probably going to be like a man cave looking room. One's going to have like the wood walls with like the rustic theme to it. And then the other one, we might even do one for fishing. We might do like a virtual aquarium and have your trophy bass being able to like swim and stuff. But that's going to cost a whole lot of money to create that. But it's something that we're definitely going to do. But when I was talking to him about it, we bounced ideas, and I talked to a couple of my engineer friends. They can basically, you'll be able to take a photo of your mount. Mm-hmm. It'll kind of like crop out the background, and it'll digitalize your mount, and you can place it anywhere in this little virtual room. Kind of just so people can kind of just see what all like your most prized possessions that you have on your walls. I thought it was a genius idea. Like it really was. And then I was talking to somebody else, and they were like, "Yeah, that's a really good idea." And can you make it to where you can click on it and view like the date it was done, like the scoring of it, and just whatever the person wants to share. Obviously, they're not going to share like the GPS coordinates or anything like that.
Especially if it was on public, they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, this was killed at this WMA or this national forest over at this little corner."
So that was one of the really cool ideas that I never even thought about. And obviously, when that feature comes out, we're going to give that guy credit. It was him and his wife. But we've got so many. I wish I could release everything right off the rip.
Yeah.
But there's some parts that are just they're really expensive.
Yeah.
To have developed, which, like I said, we're gonna do it no matter what. Like
it just takes time. I mean,
and there's a couple things we wanted to do. We wanted to partner up. We're in talks with OnX. Well, we wanted to partner up and see if we can integrate their app into ours. That's just going to make the app way too big, and it's going to slow it down.
Yeah.
So what we're going to try and talk to them about is maybe just kind of like a bundle deal, kind of like with Disney and Hulu, like how you can bundle the price. So we figured that we could just take their subscription, whether it be annual or monthly, and the users can bundle it into whichever stuff they want to use. We just talked to. Have you ever heard of Mountain Tough Fitness?
No.
So they pretty much get you in shape for like those extremely difficult hunts, like climbing the mountain, like the Rocky Mountain.
I need that then, because I have I'll tell you what, man, I'm nervous about TAC this weekend because our Georgia mountains, apparently from what I've been told, are nothing compared to what the Tennessee course was like. And I struggled last year. So Fat Boy might have a problem doing all that.
It's a really good app.
Yeah.
I like the way they do everything, and basically we talked to them, and we're going to try and include those in some bundles as well. I'm going to try and give away a few free, like at launch date, we'll probably try to give away a couple. Then we'll start kind of have like our own event. Well, whoever's interested, we'll pick like, I don't know, it's like 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
And we'll all go through the same fitness program and just, we'll talk about, it's like a 30-day review basically for everybody just to do it at once. But there's other apps that we're trying to partner up with. Kind of, you can customize your bundles however you want. We were going to do the subscription tiers. Obviously, the higher subscriptions you do, the tier you choose, the more features you get. Because the app's not going to pay for itself.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. It's the same thing with like cell cams.
Yeah, and it's free to use. The app's free to use, but there's certain features like obviously, we've got to make some money off of just to try to keep it building. One of the big things that I talked to a couple content creators, some big name ones as well. So platforms like TikTok and other platforms, they start off, especially TikTok, they only do like the 30% payout and they keep 70. So we're going to try and change that where depending on like a subscription tier or whatever partnership we come up with for those specific content creators, they'll be able to make probably up to 100% of what they earn. Yeah. So
holy crap.
Yeah, it just depends on which kind of partnership and negotiate and what kind of discussions and stuff. We'll have a bunch of stuff laid out. We'll tier it up. We'll do like the 30/70 for like the free version.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump up to like a 40/60 and 50/50, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, would you have like those creators, would you have it where for the free version, say like, all right, I download it and I'm just running the free version and Bowtic's on there, right? And I want to see what he's doing, but I can only see, and maybe this, I don't know how any of this works, so correct me if I'm wrong, but would it make some sense or be an incentive for the people using the app to be like, well, I can't see everything Scotty's doing, but I can see the stuff that he's doing on the free side. Is that kind of what you're getting at, where you could get more videos? You kind of in a way, kind of like how Patreon works, where you see one thing, but if you go up a tier, you get more stuff. You go up the next tier, you get more stuff. Is it kind of like that?
That's up to the creator themselves or the business, a small business.
Okay, so you're giving that option.
So kind of like TikTok does. You know how they have like the subscriber mode only kind of thing?
I didn't even know they had that.
Yep. So you have the one where everybody can see, which subscriber only everybody can see too. They just can't talk. Like they can't be in the chat. Yeah. So what we're doing is you'll obviously be able to go live if you choose for everybody to see. But let's say I have a friend. You ever heard of Blazing Horns? She does skull carvings.
No, I haven't.
So let's say somebody wants to learn how to do skull carving. So in order for her to make money, still using the free version, she can set up a like a subscriber thing, whether it's like $2 a month or $1.99 or whatever she wants it to be. It's all up to them. People can join that, and she can go live separate from where everybody else can see, and she can actually like teach courses.
Yeah. Wow.
Same with taxidermy and stuff like that. So they can do like a separate live for those people, and they can teach them. They can show them the tools they use or how to do stuff. People can ask questions. Let's say someone's getting into taxidermy and they just don't have the technique down yet. They can get an up close view of how to do that part that they're having difficulties with.
Yeah. I mean, you can even have someone like Levi Morgan go on there and do like an archery course. Like, hey, if you're new to it, this is how you are supposed to draw back, or this is what it means when you see your pin floating whichever way. I mean, dude, that's sick. See, and that's the thing is, you're thinking of stuff that these other apps that are hunting social media they don't have that. It's
Yeah.
literally you post a
So
photo and people comment and click on it. That's
so
as
we
far
thought
as it goes.
our whole goal was any problem that we can find that people have brought up,
Mm-hmm.
we want to find a solution to it. And while we were going through all this, we realized like, hey, we're not like everybody's done the social media stuff
Yeah.
for all the other outdoor apps.
Yeah.
There's just it's I don't know how to say it, entertaining, I guess. There's
There's just
nothing
things that are missing.
yeah, there's nothing new to it. It's like the
Yeah.
same thing. It's just a different app. So what we're doing is we're trying to think outside of just the social media part.
Yeah.
We're going to try and host challenges. So like let's say you, for instance, you decide to launch this little club or group or whatever you want to call it. People can join it. Let's say you have new merch coming out.
Mm-hmm.
People can do a challenge like, hey, um, best person to shoot this 60 yards and get the closest grouping can get this apparel or
Yeah.
$100 or however whatever, like a gift card.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there'll be challenges. We've talked to a couple places that do like tournaments. There's there's a turkey one. I think it's called like Apex. I can't remember exactly what it's called. And then there's Tourney X Pro for like fishing tournaments. So we'll be able to launch our own tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's just so much. Like I could with 13 months seems like a long time, but it's really not when you're always having like these new ideas and new stuff coming out. And
well, with all of that, man, like what I'm hearing, it seems like the thought behind all of this, the good thing that I like about it is the thought behind it is it's hunter. You're inside like the hunter's mind, right? You know, you're giving people opportunities to connect. You're giving people opportunities to, I guess, in a way, win stuff. You know, and you could have a guy from Oregon who follows, say the podcast page, and he's like, "Oh man, this is sick. Come out here and do this." And I'd be like, "Yeah, dude, sure, I'll go do it." And then you come out here and we'll go hunt, these tiny little whitetails. Like, it's stuff like that, but it's also more engaging where I feel like, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I feel like it's kind of like the hunting version of TikTok, where if somebody wants to shoot, like I've had videos taken down on TikTok plenty of times because I'm showing, a grip and grin, or I'm having to edit this video and the arrow that is going to this deer. You just barely see the broadhead open up, and somebody in China catches that and they're like, no. And then they take it down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like that. I would probably leave TikTok in a heartbeat once this comes out because I'm so sick of doing that. And you and I were talking about all of that in the beginning, but like, how are you? So you mentioned one thing that I want to touch on that really interests me. And you said you guys are thinking about doing something for podcasts. Yep. So how would that work out? Would it be like how on TikTok, again, it's kind of the one thing I'll probably jump to because it's the newest thing. It's got a bunch of different, features on it. If you were to click, like, how they got the messages tab on the bottom, if you click, say you've got something there for podcasts or other or whatever, and you click on that, is it going to be where you can post up, like the whole video and people can click that? Or is it going to be, reels, clips, all that stuff?
I didn't get this from YouTube, but it's somewhat similar, but I got the idea from like TikTok. How you'll have like the post you make, and then it'll have like your favorite videos, and then it'll have videos you're tagged in, kind of stuff like that. So across the top above your content will be like 4 different boxes. So you'll have like your feed, your all of your posts, and the next one over will be any videos or uploads that you did. Like let's say you filmed your whole hunting trip and you edited it and posted it to create like a 10-minute snippet of the whole hunt. You'll be able to see that, and then you go over a little further, and then you'll have like the audio stuff for like podcasts. And same with the video stuff. You can just do like all of your podcast videos.
Yeah.
So there'll be different sections on your page. So it helps a lot because there's different parts of the community. Like I said, taxidermists, the skull carvers, the small custom businesses that do custom arrow wraps, custom arrows, strings, all that. So there will be something they can kind of customize it to. And the reason we decided to make it customizable is obviously a lot of people that are in the hunting community are older. So they've been doing it their whole lives kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They remember MySpace.
I remember MySpace. Yeah, MySpace was terrible.
It had its little customization things, just little things to make it your own.
Are we gonna be able to make our homepage have like a background picture, like back in the day?
You'll have a banner.
That's gonna be so sick.
Yeah,
can't wait. That was the best thing, dude. Back on MySpace, I would spend hours. I was like 13, and I'd be looking at the themes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling like baseball today, so I just put a baseball thing on there. And then the next day, it's like, I watched Dragon Ball last night. I'm gonna put that on there. And it's just, dude, that's sick.
I remember that, man. That's when I first started getting confused of how hard computer stuff is, because you had to like copy and paste that code to each section of how you wanted to customize it, and it was just like, I'm glad I'm outdoorsy and not a tech person. But now, since social media has come out and all that stuff, I am all over it. I try to think of all kinds of new things and new ways to do stuff, and a lot of times I get way ahead of myself.
Yeah.
So I'll start talking about features that we shouldn't even be talking about until like year 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Just because they cost a lot of money to develop. And look, I've become lucky to meet the people I have. There's a lot of people helping out tremendously to help me get this thing going. And right now it's just me as the sole owner.
Yeah.
I went a long time without trying to give away any equity. Now I'm coming to terms with it that it'd probably be smart to have a partner or two. Yeah. So I'm heading down that route here soon. It just took a while. Because it's like a baby. It's precious to me. I worked hard, and I'm not building this app out of like a boardroom. Every feature, every idea came from actual people. So it's being built by these people.
Yeah.
The way they want it. And I'm happy to be the person to do it. And I'm so shocked that it's just now happening, honestly. Because like I said, the other apps, I respect them for what they did. But the world is just too involved with entertainment right now. And they've got to be entertaining. They've got to have stuff that other apps don't have. And that's what, I said.
Look at what Vine used to be, Yep. I remember being in high school, and it was only 6 seconds, but dude, I would spend hours just wasting time.
You've ever seen?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we still watch them not every night, but at least once or twice a week. I'll be on YouTube, and I'm like, I want to go see some of these old Vines from back in the day. And one of my favorite ones, and I might sound like a weirdo for this, but I think it's hilarious. This dude made this video, and he was supposed to be like this rundown redneck or whatever. And he was talking to the reporter or something. He was like, I was over there. I saw Bigfoot, and I was showing him my Pokemon collection. And just that alone, I'm like, that's gold, dude. It's gold.
My Pokemon collection.
Yeah. And it's like, we just don't have that. I mean, TikTok has funny stuff. My whole feed consists of 3 things: animals talking, Christian stuff, and what's the other one? I don't see it as much anymore. It's oh God.
It's probably Logan Paul wrestling, isn't it?
No, it's King Julian.
King Julian.
Yeah. The friendly gods ate up my sacrifice. That is all over my stuff, dude. And that's it. But like, I feel like we can get, and like Trent Ellis. Trent Ellis would be a perfect person to talk to if you haven't.
Yeah.
because him and like a couple other people are right up there with the funny hunting TikTok crowd. And they make stuff that like I watch his stuff and I'm like, dude, I relate to that. Like I 100% relate to that. And the hunting space really needs something like this because, you know, kind of going back to something that you mentioned earlier with the whole censorship deal, TikTok really is bad about it. Instagram, not so much, but people don't really use it much anymore. You know,
yeah, well, they're getting worse.
Yeah. And I've had stuff where like granted, it wasn't actually Instagram, but I had my old Instagram account hacked. And, you know, the only reason it got hacked is because I got a message, and it's right when I started TikTok, but I got a message saying, hey, you violated our community guidelines. And I fell for it, and it is what it is. But I know other people are getting their stuff taken down for that. And I don't know. I mean, is that something that it has to be something you guys are looking at?
Oh yeah,
like,
it is.
People can get away with.
Though, and a big reason why is because it's happened to me. So it's happened to me, and it happens to a lot of people. I've had, I want to say like 40 fake profiles of me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've gotten messages, and they get kind of weird. Like somebody thinks that they've been dating me for the past 7 months. You know, it's like I've never even spoken to you. And they're like, well, you blocked me on this. And I'm like, you're talking to me right now. I've never blocked you.
Dude, that's insane. I've never had that. I had a guy reach out on Facebook the other day. It's the weirdest conversation I've ever had. And he was like, hey, Eric. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I don't know this dude, right? Random guy. And he was like, awesome. And I'm like, yeah. Okay. Don't say anything else. Right. And then he goes, have you been contacted or heard anything from some gun organization or something? And I was like, yeah, I think I've gotten a few emails about that. And he sends me this whole long list of like, well, this is why we're doing what we're doing. And I'm like, dude, whoa, easy. Yeah. I'm not buying into this. I get emails all the time saying, hey, your account's going to get taken down. I'm like, okay, take it down. I don't care. I know it's not real, but yeah. Is that like a hurdle you guys are kind of still, I'm not saying struggling to get over because I don't know anything about it, but is that something that y'all are really sort of diving into, making sure that we can post like grip and grins? I mean, because some of these hunters, and I'm not bashing them, but some of these hunters really do take disrespectful photos and videos of these animals. And
so we're having obviously the censorship and the restrictions, dropped way down. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if someone sees something that they don't want to see, that is like animal abuse or anything like that, it won't delete the video right away. Obviously, it'll go under like a review, but nobody will be able to see it once it's reported. We will have people kind of over time growing. We have to grow our team obviously over time, but we're basically going to rely on the community in the app to kind of help us censor the stuff that is not ethical hunting and stuff like that. Yeah. There's ways we're looking into of how to even prevent scammers and spam accounts from being even created. Yeah. That way you guys don't have to make a backup account because you're worried you're almost on your third strike and you're about to lose everything and have to start all over. Like we're not going to try to do that. Obviously, if it's something wild and you're repeatedly doing it, you're probably gone.
I mean, I feel like a lot of hunters, now there's a few, but most of us have a general idea of right and wrong. Like we can look at something. Like I'll tell you this quick story about my buddy. I think it's his brother-in-law, and when he listens to this, he's probably gonna laugh because I've told the story one other time. I don't know if I told it on this podcast, but I may have said it on Bergie's. But his brother-in-law, they go coyote hunting, and told me this story about They were coyote hunting this one time, and they killed, or they shot this dog. They thought they killed it, tied it to the back of their truck, and drove up the road. Come back, the dog's not dead. And instead of being like, oh my God, like if I did that, which I'd never drag them on the road anyway, but if I was going to do that, I'd make sure it's dead first, right? Like 100%. And if I realized, oh, I really messed up, I feel terrible. But they were like laughing and making jokes. And I'm like, dude, I understand we need to take coyotes out, fine. But you just basically tortured this animal. It's like, imagine if some idiot took a video of that and posted it.
Yeah. As long as it's ethical, dude, and it's, I don't know, because I don't like to see animals suffer anyway, and it's hard even being a hunter. Like, there's people that have told me stories about their hunting experiences, and just it chokes them up. Yeah. Like afterwards, just the noises and stuff that they make, and the motion that goes through all that. There are people that are just built different, and they just have the care in the world, and they just do what they do. But yeah, we're gonna try, and obviously we're gonna need the community's help, at least within the first, I don't know, probably like 6 months to kind of help out until we get that team done. That's why we're taking a little longer to release the beta and stuff. We want to make sure we figure all that stuff out. Like we want the app out there into everybody's hands, like right now. Yeah. But in order to make it safe and fast enough to do all these things, we have to look at building the team, but behind the scenes, and we just want to make sure that when you guys sign up, that you don't have to worry about your data. Yeah. Your stuff like that, your privacy and all your stuff. So that's our main focus right now. We're still looking into a couple investors. I actually had one email today. I'm waiting on 2 other ones, I believe, which will help speed up the process, because we're, as easy as it would be to just release the beta, if we just release the beta right now, it would seem just like all those other apps. Yeah. Just a basic social media platform. And we're trying to be different. So obviously we don't want to be like, hey, here's the beta. And
I said something last week on last week's episode that I firmly believe, because I had to go through it, but if you want something good, a lot of the time you have to wait. If you really want something that's high quality, that is going to do exactly what you want it to do, or be to your specifications, like an arrow build or my bow back there, you've got to wait. I mean, you can't. The problem is everybody these days wants instant gratification, right? And I fought that for years. I mean, I literally used to be like, if I can't have it right now, then I'm not waiting on you. I'll do it myself, right? And I learned through getting older and whatnot that, dude, good quality products take a while. Right. And so I think take as long as y'all need to. I know you want it out now, but take as long as you need to, because the last thing you want is to let the beta out, and then people get on it and they're like, oh, same thing as everything else, and then they lose interest. And you could be working on stuff behind the scenes, but they don't know,
Yeah. Well, that's why we try to keep everybody updated on any new features or ideas that we're coming up with, because we obviously want the feedback. Yeah. Without the feedback, then we're not going to release it. Yeah. But we can still do the beta. Obviously we still got to do some other stuff. But one of the features that we are doing, so from TikTok, I don't know, have you ever gone live on TikTok?
I haven't. I've joined them a couple times, just sort of listening and stuff. But
so when somebody, let's say the host has to get offline. They got to shut the whole thing down. Somebody else has to restart a new live. Everybody joins into that. Let's say 3 of those people have no idea who just started the live, because they don't know that person specifically. So what we're doing is we're doing the host transfer. So basically, if you're live and you got to go somewhere, you can just transfer to one of the people in your box.
Oh, wow. So it's like a
Yeah,
continuous thing.
yeah, so you don't have to close anything down. Another big one is this one is a really good suggestion as far as like content creators and helping smaller following people grow. I'll use, like I said, Blazing Horn as an example. Let's say she has like 300 people watching her carve these skulls.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to get offline, but her friends online that's carving skulls as well. She can send every one of her viewers to that person to watch them. And that just let's just say 200 of those people have never seen that person's content.
Yeah.
That's 200 pair of new eyes on that person right then and there.
Huh. So it's kind of like when people go, because I get these all the time and it used to get really annoying, but because I literally do this. I work and then I'm with the family. And if it's deer season, good luck. But I would get multiple messages a night saying, oh, so-and-so's gone live. And it's like a link to it to go join it. And I'm like, dude, I can't do that. So, but aside from, my experience with that, it is kind of that same idea, except they can sort of just shift it over to another person without having to share everything to a million people.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Like
and people don't have to back out, click on a link just to go to that person's thing. They don't have to click on anything. So it's just as clear as me and you watching each other right now. They can just say, hey, I'm going to transfer you guys over here. Tell them I said hi. Click. All of a sudden the screen changes and now I'm talking to somebody else and never had to click a single button.
Yeah, the main thing that I would say, and I'm just throwing ideas out there, but what people want these days is ease of motion, right? Like they want the easiest way. Like you said, if someone's got to leave, just send it over to the other person. Everybody's already in there, rather than being like, oh, well, all right, guys, I got to go, but go follow or go watch, so-and-so. And then you get a million people sharing it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But how many of those people are really going to click it? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're already there, it makes it easier if you can just directly shift it over. No one has to go anywhere. And then you just come back.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like, let's say I'm live and I'm in a box full of all 9 people. All the boxes are full. And 4 of those people are new to that live. They've never joined before. And we wanted to have them come up and talk about their trip that they said they were on in the chat.
Yeah.
And then, hey guys, I got to get off here real quick. And then one of them is like, hey, I'll start up a live. Well, as soon as that person ends the live, if they don't already have them followed, they're not going to find them.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen that. Like I've had people send me stuff and I'm like, I don't even know who this is. Like Thanos in the movie is like, I don't even know who you are. And it's like, I'm not going to go join it anyway. It's 10 o'clock at night, but maybe I'll check them out,
Right.
So yeah, that's sick. I never would have thought of that. I mean, the things you guys are doing, like I said earlier, it's things that are outside of the box. The one thing I do want to ask you, and this might be a little controversial. Some people might want to know why I'm asking this, but I have good reason. What are y'all going to do about the huntresses and the stuff they like to post? Is there going to be any sort of, I guess, regulation on that, or is that one kind of just going to be? Because the reason I ask is like I've had a few times where I go on like Instagram or something, and all it is girls in bikinis with deer, girls in bikinis with fish, and it's like I just want to see big bucks. I don't care about any of this,
So if it's that's a tough one. Obviously we can't like tell them no, like, hey, you can't be on this app. But what we can do is just work on the algorithm better.
I got you.
It's kind of like TikTok, man. If you search something or if you watch something for a certain amount of time, it's going to start throwing that kind of content into your stuff.
Dude.
So whether you do or don't watch those girls in the bikinis, like, walking out to feed, throw corn down or whatever.
Yeah.
If you watch it long enough, dude, it's going to start throwing it in there.
God. Yeah, I guess that's really not something you can sort of get around. It's just me and one of my buddies always gripe about it because like we'll just be going through and one video pops up and it's like if you don't immediately swipe, it thinks you're watching it, even though you're probably not. Maybe you're working on something. You just swipe it
You're
and
kind of
sort of set it
scrolling
down.
as you, yeah.
Yeah. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting there next to my wife just scrolling, and she sees that and she's like, what are you looking at? It's like, I promise you that is not the case.
One thing that we were thinking, like, I haven't brought it up to anybody yet because I didn't know it was going to be like, if that was like a necessity kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
like, are people going to be fine with it and just scroll past it, or are they going to actually be tired of seeing it? So kind of like what TikTok does right now. Every now and then you'll scroll across a video and it'll be like, "Hey, were you interested in this or whatever?" And it'll give like an answer thing.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing that little pop up out there, we'll probably include it in like the not the share button, but in like a little tab.
Yeah.
To kind of like a not interested, like maybe a button with a circle and the slash through it, just like a not interested, and then it'll just wipe that out of your feed.
Yeah, because TikTok's been on one lately, man. I was scrolling through and I saw this one. It's really weird how their algorithm is. Like I had some questions about it, but I landed on this video of this guy who's, people are like, oh, he's the Antichrist and all this stuff. He's saying some wild stuff. And I'm watching it and I'm like, huh, that's a weird guy. And then I just keep going. Next thing I know, I'm getting ads where it's like, do you want to meet trans women in your area? And I'm like, yo, what the? Yeah, I'm like, excuse me? No. And I scrolled through like 100 videos trying to get that thing out of there. Finally, it went away. But it's like, please tell me that's not something we have to worry about where it's like random. Okay.
So that's one thing that we're also going to be doing is we're going to try to keep it politic free.
Okay.
As
good.
well.
Good.
Stuff like we're in it. We're out here trying to promote like our passions, like for hunting, fishing, off-roading, whatever. Like it's that stuff can stay on the platforms that they want that stuff to stay on. Like what ours, it'll take time, but we're definitely going to try to find fixes for it.
Yeah.
One big thing that we're doing is when you first sign up, let's say you're only a hardcore hunter, you don't do fishing, you don't go off-roading or anything like that. You don't find that stuff interesting. When you sign up, it'll give you a list of like your interests, kind of like I think Twitter did that. When you sign up, it'll give like categories of games and news and entertainment and stuff like that.
I haven't had Twitter in like 10 years, so I have no idea.
So it'll have like a list, and if you don't click on like fishing or off-road, it's not going to throw that into your algorithm.
Okay. That's smart. That's real smart. Because I mean, I love the outdoor space, but like I was saying earlier, I don't really hunt turkeys. I go fishing every now and then. The main thing I'm focused on is archery and deer. So that'd be good. I mean, doing that though, that still take away maybe like I said earlier, Trent Ellis, if he makes an account and starts posting his stuff on there, if all I'm clicking is bow hunting and deer, is that potentially going to not have his stuff pop in? Because I mean, I'd probably look him up anyway, but just on like the scrolling feature of it, I don't know if you know or not how that would work out. But
so let's say you're following somebody that does do hunting, fishing, and off-road.
Yeah.
But you're following them. Obviously, some of their content is going to come up that involves something that you're not really interested in, but you like that person. So it'll still push it into like the fishing category. Okay. So if you watch that video or, get past 10 seconds of watching it, it'll start feeding some in there. Yeah. Whether it just be his or some, a friend of his or something like, it'll slowly feed it in, but it's not, you're not going to see, like I said, you're not going to go with the whole girls in bikinis and cooking on a grill and just be stuck with it.
It gets so annoying. I finally do remember the last time I had to deal with it. And I was, because me and my wife sometimes will have like, I don't want to say TikTok time, but I'll literally walk in the room. She's like, hey, come TikTok with me. I'm like, all right, cool. And then we'll just watch like cop videos or something. And it's really funny how our algorithms work differently. Cause like I said, all of mine is King Julian talking and hunting, or cats or dogs talking and hunting. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Maybe some funny like cartoon stuff here and there, but most of it is that. Her stuff is like police stuff, soldiers coming home, and she's really in touch with her emotions. I don't watch those because I'll cry like a baby. Love them, but I don't watch them a lot. And, movies, right? And I'm trying to get my head around like really what we'll be seeing, because in my head I'm picturing basically TikTok with, and I don't mean to keep comparing the two, but
you're good,
where you can post something like TikTok where you can post those videos, you can watch the funny content creators and stuff, and then on their page they'll also have something where they actually post something like Facebook. Yep. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Or
so it's like I said, I was trying to find every solution to every problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff from other apps that are like all different platforms.
Okay.
Now we're just going to do it. We're going to do it a different way.
Yeah.
But there's reasons people like that the way it was. So if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah. So like if Billy Bob wants to go out there and he's in his tree stand and he's like, Billy Bob posted out here hunting the 14 pointer, and he could just post that if he just wants to do the bare minimum of it.
Just no picture, no nothing. You can just make a comment post.
That's gonna be awesome. I love those. That's so funny. So what are you gonna have? Like, are you gonna have I guess say you're watching the videos, right? You're just scrolling through. Are you going to have portions where like you're watching one video, you scroll up and then it's an ad, but it's like a hunting brand ad? Like say, for like Prime, they came out with the form. I've seen ads and stuff like that on YouTube. Is it going to be, do you have a space for that?
It's going to have ads.
Okay, cool.
Obviously you can subscribe to get no ads.
Yeah.
But they're going to be related ads. Like I said, you're not going to get a Vibor ad. Or Betty Crocker or a Tupperware ad or anything like that.
No, well, hey, sometimes those come in handy. My Tupperware could get replaced.
If it's not related to outdoors and they're not a business that is literally partnered up with us,
yeah,
you're probably not going to see an ad.
So you guys are actively looking for like partners that could run ads. Like say if Prime did want to partner up with y'all, they could put an ad on the app.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Well, I've got a few people in mind that I want to get you in contact with, because
there's a couple people that we're looking for, like come launch date, that we're going to be offering like a full year of unlimited ads for free.
Wow.
And it gets pretty pricey for some of those businesses.
Yeah.
Like a year.
Especially people are using it every day. They're going to see it. It's the same thing with this. Like, it's promotion. It's the whole I scratch your back, you scratch mine game.
Yeah.
So dude, I'm excited. I'm trying to think of what else. So what other stuff haven't we talked about that's going to be on the app?
There's the business side of it. Obviously the businesses will have their little storefronts, kind of like TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
They'll have that, but they'll also be able to go live and talk with their community, their customers. There's a lot of small businesses that are making that pretty well known now. People are loving it. Like, what's another one? Cartel game calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
They go live a lot.
Really?
And they just chat with people and they do giveaways live. Like, hey, let's get us to this many, let's get us to 40,000 followers, or not followers, but likes.
Yeah.
We'll give away a set of the calls.
Wow.
Like people love that. Like,
I feel like there's a whole world of this that I'm missing.
You probably are.
Yeah, it seems like it.
There's people that do custom like hats. Chris C. Evans Customs. They do. He does. I don't know if you can see this, but they're stitched patch hats.
Oh wow!
So they ain't coming off, and he does them all. He does them live. He etches the leather and everything, cuts them out, and stitches them on live. And it's pretty.
I was looking at my hat to see. I was trying to. I just got this, and I'm trying to see how it is compared to that. That's the beauty of what you're doing, is like you're gonna bring people, because I've been looking at places who can make hats, who can make shirts. I got to order 300 stickers for my daughter's career day because like
let me see. So if you see this, this is literally his logo.
C. Evans Customs. I'm gonna go. Is he on TikTok?
Yep.
Right,
And he's live every single night working on different products. He just sent me these. He got some orange leather that he sent.
Oh, so sick.
But it's like the American flag hats.
Dude. That's
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's his? Is it C. Evans Customs LLC too?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah. Like he etches. I'll just drop every single one of my hats, but like a flat.
Oh, what? So he does more than just hats?
Yeah, he does a lot. He does shirts, hoodies, stuff like that.
Wow. Well, Chris, if you're listening, you just got a free shout out. So we need to talk about stuff.
His name's Chad. I don't know why I said Chris. Every time.
Okay, Chad. Sorry.
Every time I think of C. Evans, I'm thinking of Chris Evans, like Captain America.
Hey, I mean, I just did it on the episode, so I kind of feel like an idiot, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they're cool guys. Some other stuff we haven't talked about is we're not doing it right away, but we're going to be branching out to everything outdoors. So come launch, we're probably going to be with like hunting, fishing, camping, like I don't know, survival stuff.
Yeah.
And then down the road, maybe 6 months, 8 months down the road, we'll probably be doing like snowboarding, skiing, trekking, bushcraft.
Yeah.
Off-road. There's just so many options. And because I don't know if you've checked the numbers lately, but outdoor recreation has grown a lot in the past 10 years. It dropped, hunting especially, it dropped way down for a while, and then now it's starting to go back up. And I think a big thing about it is because of like the trends.
Yeah.
It's stuff comes back like the mullet.
Yeah. Dude, I know. I thought that was dead and gone, and then Morgan Wallen hops on the scene, and everybody's got one now. Like,
yeah. So yeah, there's different. So I mean, we owe it to content creators for bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to a couple, and we're trying to obviously make some deals of how it would benefit them better to use ours. Another thing, we talked to I'm not going to say his name. He's a country artist. There's actually, I didn't realize this, but there are actually country artists out there who are even scared to post their hunting content.
Oh yeah.
On a platform.
Oh yeah. I'm not surprised, because they probably have fans that live in the city and just like country music, and they see that and they're like, oh, I'm not going to listen to your stuff anymore. You're killing animals.
Right.
So I am not surprised.
So yeah, so it's obviously we want to provide a place for them to come out and show off the other side of them that not everybody gets to see.
Yeah.
Whether it be Luke Bryan and he's like, is he down?
Is he down? Hunter, is he down?
Just cool stuff, and they can interact because they already do it. They go live on Facebook every now and then. They'll go live on Instagram. But like I said, a lot of, especially country artists, a lot of them are big hunters.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even know it.
I mean, I was shocked to hear that Morgan Wallen was a hunter. And I know he's talked a few times. He was on Phil Bond's podcast talking about it. And
did you know Morgan Wallen and Eric Church own Field and Stream now?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Huh. That just makes me like them more.
Yeah.
I like, because like Blake Shelton has always been, to me, sort of the country artist that's like the hunter too.
I think they own it, but I know they're a big part of it now.
Yeah.
Like I think they're like rebranding, and it's with them. So
yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure they own it now. They partnered up and they're
involved. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the important
One way or
part.
another, they're definitely involved.
We need to have more of a transparency with like these bigger names, right? Like I said, the Blake Shelton situation, the dude, I've watched him on Bone Collector. When Michael Waddell came on this podcast a couple years ago, he was talking about it. And I'm like, dude, you don't even think about it, but it's like, I'm talking to somebody who's best friends with a major country artist. And they almost seem kind of like, I don't want to say untouchable, you know, but they're people too.
Yeah.
And like, I was at the shop yesterday talking to one of my buddies that's a Bowtech up there. He was talking about some big name archer that I think it was his daughter or someone he's coaching. I don't remember, but they saw this person. They started freaking out, and he just goes, "Hey," and he calls him over by name, and they're like, "You know this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, he's a human being." And it's the same thing. Like, and especially doing this podcast, getting some of the big, I don't want to say celebrities, but big personalities in the hunting industry. You get nervous. Like with Waddell,
Yeah.
I was super nervous, man. And then 5 minutes in, it's like the dude your entire life. And you forget that these people are still people.
They're just people, and they would love to be treated as such.
Yeah, and that's what we need.
People.
That's what we need. And it sounds like Odyssey's going to make it more transparent, where you can reach out to the Lee Ellises, the Waddells, the Bill Dances, and be like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of what you're doing," and you actually get a response back rather than it getting lost in everything.
Yeah.
So,
and let's say, like, who knows, down the road, a country artist might be doing like a live thing, and he's like, "Hey, this show got canceled or whatever. Like, hey, let's throw a live concert on, on here." So, it's just something cool. Like they can sell their merch. They can get subscribers. They can, there's all kinds of things they can do.
Yeah.
So, and we want to offer that. Like I said, the sky's the limit, and we obviously want to get there with everything.
Yeah.
It's just going to take time for a lot of it, but there is a lot that we're going to, even though it's going to take a while for everything to come out, there's still so much that is going to be released that we haven't even touched base on yet.
Well, I want to ask you, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon. But I am excited about the 3D, or not the 3D, the trophy room thing. And that is one thing I sort of wanted to circle back on, is like, in the future, obviously not right when it first drops, but in the future, would it be possible to sort of maybe do like this deer I got behind me? That's my first deer with a bow. If I were to take like a 360 photo of them, would it be possible? I know there's some companies that, like, I think it's Rack Hub, where they do like a 3D. It may not be Rack Hub, but there's companies out there that do like 3D,
like a model.
Yeah, like a model where it's in their system and you can get either replicas made, stuff like that. Would it be possible to take that mount, get the whole 360 of it, and then put that in the trophy room? And then that way, instead of just the photo, you've got actual, like, the
instead
weight
of just
mounted
on the wall, you could have like something you can walk around.
Yeah, like, where you can kind of zoom in and like go around it and be like, "Oh, well, I didn't even notice," from the front.
I want to say yes, because almost anything's possible. I want to say yes, but I'd have to reach out to the people that are going to be doing it.
Yeah,
and find out, like, if it's possible. It'll probably take a while, just because I know that's gonna take up more space in the app to being able to do that. But I want to say yes, but I can't give a definite answer.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would just be something to like visit once it's out and you sort of get a feel for what's going on. I wouldn't put that at the top of the list, but
you should definitely text me that so I can put it in the notes.
I will do that as soon as we get off here.
That way,
awesome, man.
That way I don't forget, but I also have like future ideas for how to improve features.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I feel like just from this hour or whatever we've been talking, that you are listening to people.
Already?
Huh?
So has it been an hour already?
It has. My wife's texted me already. She's like, "Are you almost done? I'm really hungry. Could you give me another bowl of pasta?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm getting there. Don't worry." But what I'm hearing is that you're actually listening to what people are telling you and not being like, I have this vision. It's only my way. It's all, once I do this, that's all it's going to be. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Like, it sounds like you're open to all of it.
We're open to every bit of it, and we bring it up all the time to even just to tweak it a little bit. Like, hey, this was the idea. How can we make it better? What can we change to, keep it top tier? So, and like I said, I love talking about it just because every time I talk about it, something new happens and something new comes up. Like you just talked about that full 3D thing. That's something new. Like, it made that feature even cooler if it's possible to do it. So
you gonna have games on there?
We are. I think there was. I forget what the game is specifically. We've got one in mind, but we also want to reach out to I don't know if you do Xbox and stuff.
I used to. I don't know anymore.
I want to reach out to Call of the Wild so bad.
Do it, please. I was literally gonna say either Cabela's big game or that.
Whether it be create our own little map full of just everything, or skins or whatever it may be. Like, I would love to reach out to them for something like that.
That'd be sick. That would be, dude. One of my buddies plays. I watch those videos on there all the time because I really, me and my wife play some like Nintendo Wii games and stuff, but I wish I had time to do that because in the off season it would be great. I used to play the Hunter Classic on this computer actually before I started the podcast, and this computer is so old, like I really need to get a new one. But this one's so old that it doesn't even run that game anymore. And so like once that happened, it's like, dude, all my gaming stuff is pretty much gone. So if it was on that app where you could just, because I mean, kind of like how what is it, Acubo, I think.
Yeah.
How they've got where you can have the deer walking and you can stop it. And then even though it's on the phone, if you've got the bow, you could, pretend shoot at it. Something like that, where it's just, if someone wants to hop on for a minute, say they're sitting at work waiting on something, they can play a game instead of just watching videos and everything else. Because that's one thing I haven't seen on any of these apps is games.
Yeah, and it's definitely been thought about. I don't remember if how old are you? You said, I forget, you're in your 30s.
30. Yeah, just turned 30 about a month ago.
Back when I was in school, we had, I believe it was called like coffeebreak.com. And it had like a bunch of different games, just cheaply, just random games that made. Like the Kitty Cannon, I believe, was one.
Yes, dude. That was so much fun.
Like, it would be cool to reach out to people that make those kind of games and just have it like an offset thing. Like, let's say you don't want to watch content, you don't want to be sucked into it for at night, but you like, hey, let's try to rack up our score on this real quick and stay on top of the leaderboard or whatever. Like, that would be something cool. We thought about that one, but as far as like other games, I don't know what else we could do, except there's a couple of ones out there right now. It's what's that one with the buck? But you shoot it and you're playing against somebody, going for like the best score.
Oh,
I forget what it's called. I played it once.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
It's something Royale, because it was, I think Golf Clash. I played Golf Clash or whatever the heck that game is called, where you play golf. But then I found out that they made a hunting one, and it's pretty sweet. So there's different animals and stuff. We might look into it. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
something else to add in there to kind of add entertainment.
Yeah, it sounds like there's so much that you guys could do with this. I mean, I guess in a sense, to sort of wrap it up, the one thing I do want to ask is on the TikTok side, they've got their editing, like auto cut, and they've got filters and stuff. Are you guys going to have something like that too?
We are. Eventually, we're going to be developing our own, but that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
To develop your own, because you got to do all kinds of stuff. But yes, we are There's a couple different things we're looking into currently for the editing part.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have to get licensing and stuff as well to do some music.
Yeah, that I feel like is a
We're just
big,
stuck with commercial sounds that,
yeah.
you
Because
know,
I mean,
we're
how are
all
you going to
trying
get all of the music? I mean, you can obviously, but you have to license that out, don't you?
yeah,
Or copyright it or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
man, my
But
head hurts
but
thinking about
but
that.
that's still cheaper than developing your own editing and stuff
Really?
for just doing the licensing and stuff like that.
Good Lord, man. That mm, I had no idea there was that much that went into it.
Yeah, and that's
But I
what
mean,
we're
with everything you guys are doing, it makes sense.
and trust me, we went over the whole budget as like not budget, but the whole roadmap of how much this would cost if we developed every single feature and made it our own.
Mm-hmm.
That it's way up there, like multi-millions. So what we decided to do is, like I was saying earlier, we're trying to talk with Onyx. They've already perfected basically the 3D mapping.
Yeah.
So why would I want to develop that? And I can just pay them for like the licensing and stuff, and I can help them get subscribers to what they already have that's
Yeah.
perfected. So yeah, we found ways to save big time, so that way we can incorporate more of the money towards making all these other features that we are doing for our own better. So that way we're not wasting money on something that we're gonna have to compete with.
Yeah.
Because there's
Dude.
no competing. I don't think there's any competing with Onyx right now. Like
Yeah, I mean, I use Onyx. I also use Spartan Forge just because they have different little things that when I'm
yeah,
actually going.
I like Spartan Forge as well.
Yeah, it's my thing with that is like the only difference between the two, and maybe Onyx has changed this because I haven't used it really since deer season ended. I mean, I've got a couple spots picked out to go knock on doors, but the one thing about Spartan Forge I do like is the deer collar data thing that they have, where you
Yeah.
can kind of take a guess, you know, and then they also have the windage indicator that
Yeah.
moves. I don't know if Onyx has one that moves, but
I think they're working on that because they just released their fishing. Have you seen the Onyx's fishing maps?
mm-mm.
So I think they're only in like 2 or 3 states right now,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling when that gets going, that's going to take off too.
Yeah,
And
Onyx
that's a huge
just
reason why we wanted to partner with them, is because we're doing everything outdoors.
yeah.
So they've got the hunting, they've got the camping stuff, they've got the off road. Now they've got the fishing, they've got the trails. So it just made sense to go.
Go with that.
Hey, that's our first option right there.
Yeah. Yeah, they really have kind of cemented themselves as like the top. Even though there's other things and other apps that maybe like, and they'll probably end up doing it at some point unless it's like fully licensed, but I don't really know how you would do that. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, for Spartan Forge with me is just the deer prediction. And
Yeah.
Deercast has that. It may not be fully accurate all the time, but it kind of helps. Like it, I know Kurt on Working Class has talked about it a few times, and he's like, even though it might not be fully accurate, it's better to wake up that morning and look at Deercast and say, great, and at
Yep.
least go in there confident rather than being like,
Mhm.
well, I have no idea,
Yeah.
Um, dang, dude,
I
I'm
just
excited.
talked to Kurt, I think last week. I was kind of going over with him. I wasn't trying to be on the podcast or anything because he was telling me that they've been burned before. Like they've tried promoting something and then they got nothing in return, or it never
Yep.
went anywhere.
I've been there multiple times.
But I was literally reaching out, just like the kind of what we talked about before we went live on here. What kind of things can we do for the podcast?
Yeah.
The people that do the podcast, and he gave some really good options out there. So like I said, so if you have any, like I said before we get off here, if you have any suggestions of how we can help with you and your podcast, always feel free to shoot them over, and anything we come up with, we'll reach out and let you know, and we'll tweak it the way we need to make it perfect.
Yeah. I mean, my brain's definitely working right now, thinking of a bunch of different things. So I might send you a laundry list, but yeah,
That's
dude,
fine.
I'm excited. I mean, it's the one thing that I really feel like, and I said this earlier, but we desperately need something like this in not only in the industry, but in the community too. You
Yeah.
know, like, because I Instagram's cool, TikTok's cool, but it gets a little bit, I don't want to say redundant, but like I know there's things that people want to share that they just
Oh
can't.
yeah.
And it's
They've
like,
got hundreds of hours of footage that they can't even
yeah,
show.
exactly. Like I've caught myself before, and I've said this multiple times to people on the podcast, especially hunters. When I'm getting hunters on, we're talking tactics or stories or just cutting up or whatever. And at the end of it, I'm like, all right, man, well, send me over any promo stuff that, you know, like gripping
Yeah.
greens or clips. And it's like, but make sure some of the clips you send or photos, send me some stuff for TikTok, send me some stuff for Instagram. And it's like, I don't want to have to edit all that up. I just want to throw it together and put it out everywhere.
Yeah. Then you got to edit it in different ways, and
Dude,
yeah,
yeah,
it
it's a
gets
pain.
crazy. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
Another thing we're doing on your user page, not your or no, on your profile page, not your user page. Your user page is what you control. Your profile page is what everybody sees.
Mhm.
On your profile page, it will have the little icons for each one of your social media. So instead of having to put Linktree in your bio
Yeah.
and then listing everything, you can just click on, whether it be YouTube, click on the icon and it takes you right to your YouTube channel.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be. I have been
So, like I said,
dying to do
if it
that.
was a problem, we found a way to solve it.
I'm so excited, man. When is the beta drop? Do you think?
The beta, well, right now we're waiting on a little more funding to get it pretty much finalized. We're about 60% ready for the beta. Like I said, we're a big focus is trying to make sure like the privacy and the data and stuff's good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're about 60% done. I want to say if we can get the funding in time, hopefully by June-ish.
Wow.
So
Okay.
like a month and a half maybe. But it just depends. Like it's so hard to promote this app just because other platforms just don't want to promote it.
Yeah.
Like you could make 100 videos and every one of them will stay the same amount of views, and it's very hard.
Well, that's gonna happen when you're basically making a competitor. So
Yeah, I mean, it is a competitor, but again, if you think about it, it's really not because we're promoting stuff that those platforms don't even allow.
yeah. Problem is they don't know that. In their eyes, it's like, oh,
That's
well,
true.
you're gonna
They just think of it as the social media. Oh,
exactly.
which I know you're trying to get off here, but one more thing is we are doing a marketplace.
Oh,
Buy,
dude,
buy,
I was
sell,
gonna
trade.
ask you about that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
So,
we can't do the whole pew pew thing.
well, of course.
We've got to work. I've got to figure out how I can make that possible.
Yeah.
But as far as like use new gear, you buy, sell, trade kind of stuff, yeah, we're doing that.
Dude, that's gonna be sick because I've had to do that a couple times in the past, and I mean, Facebook's fine, I guess, but you can't. I actually got dinged for the first time on Facebook when I posted my old
It's
bow up.
scammy.
It's scammy, but I can't even post a picture of my bow and say, hey, I'm selling this for whatever price.
Yeah,
And but see, this is the weird part is marketplace. I can't do that. I can go in all the groups that I'm in and say, hey guys, bow for sale.
Yep.
And no problem.
Yep.
It's like, if I can get away with that, what's with the marketplace thing? Like it's a bow. Now, if it was a AR-15 or something, fine. I get that. But dude, you guys really have thought of everything.
Yep.
That's sick.
Like I said, 13 months, man, I pushed it hard. I actually so I used to own my own business. I do construction. I actually took like a 5-month break from doing construction.
Wow.
Just to fully just
dive into it.
Balls to the wall, like, hey, I want to know what you guys want, how you want it, like everything. So I've got a huge binder full of notes. Like I'm always taking notes.
Well, I'm gonna add to some of those tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well,
awesome, man.
Go get your lady some food, and
yeah.
like I said, I appreciate you having me on here, man. It was great talking to you.
Of course, man. Real quick before we sign off, let everybody know where they can find you. So if they have ideas, they can send them over.
Okay, so you can reach out on any of our social media platforms. Just look up Odyssey, ODYZ. TikTok, I think it's Odyssey_app. And then we have a Facebook group. We've got Instagram. We're kind of new to all that, so the following's pretty low. We started on TikTok, and we just liked the way it was going, and then now it's just further going south. So we're just like, okay, no more. Or if you want to know more about the app, you can go check out our website. It's odysseyoutdoors.com. I know a lot of people are having trouble pronouncing it, but it is Odyssey. It's not Odyz.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still gonna read it as Odyz. That's the bad part. I know what it is.
Everybody does it. People at work, when I got the new hats, man, they were like, "What is that?" But yeah,
it'll catch on. Once it drops, it'll catch.
Or just find my my social media stuff and just reach out. If you got suggestions, ideas, questions, I'm all for it.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, dude. I'm sorry to have to kind of cut it short a little bit, but it just means we'll have to do another episode.
Hopefully next time I'm on, the app will be launched.
Yeah, no, it probably will be. Because I know we actually have a whitetail series coming out in July, I think. So all of June is gonna pretty much be that. Like I'm trying to get all my buddies that actually know how to kill big whitetails. I know Joe Miles with Osseo is gonna be coming on. So after that's over, like you were saying, the beta should hopefully drop in June. So we can definitely jump back on here and I'll be able to say like, hey, this is what I saw. This is what, we need to maybe look at or whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm sending you ideas. So
yep. Well, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it, buddy.